Alvin. It's my cousin. How old are you?
27.
Alright, so this is going to be my first attempt to identify with my culture, and my first interview chose him. It's going to be pretty interesting because we grew up together. For a long time, we were really close, so our differences will be interesting. Alright, so first question is, how do you identify with yourself? She said that you were African American or black.
I'm sorry. Hey, you got your editing equipment. I'm sorry, I froze up. I'm not good in front of the camera. I'm good behind the camera. But anyways, I identify myself as black.
Okay. Do you think there's a difference? Obviously you do. But why though?
That's just the way I was raised.
Say black.
Black.
Were you raised to see the differences in color? Like black versus white?
No.
No.
That's just the terminology I was raised with, but no. I don't see the color difference between people.
Do you feel like you have the same opportunities as a white male?
It's some things.
Such as?
Okay, I'm not the right person for the interview. Wait a minute, 'cause
Why?
some things we do have
You are the right person for the interview. I mean, like.
Shut up. Let me think back here. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thanks for the interview, Naya.
You don't even got an answer. Like, what's it do?
I appreciate it.
It's a simple question. All I asked was, do you feel like you have the same opportunities?
Yeah, I really don't have an answer for you. That's a shame.
All right.
And I
So,
got gas.
what? Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's disgusting.
Are we recording this?
Backseat drawing. So the question is now, so growing up, you say you never saw the difference between white and black, and because you weren't raised to see it in that manner, at what point did you acknowledge that there is a difference? If you weren't raised that way, what brought that to your attention?
Well, you could obviously see that there's a difference when you look at people. I mean, but I was taught to look on the inside. I mean, anybody with eyes can tell there's black and there's whites. But
How about the treatment though? Like when you're in school or when you're at work, or do you feel that you've been treated differently?
well, in school, I wasn't really. I didn't think I was treated different because high school I went to a majority black high school.
So you went to a school that was segregated?
Yes. I mean, no. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. No, there were white people there.
Yeah.
But by
Very
choice.
little.
Yeah, right. But that was by choice.
Yeah, so you went to a segregated school?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't know there were schools that weren't still nowadays. There are.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Actually, you go to school, you know how they determine where you go to school based upon your neighborhood? So if you lived in a lower income neighborhood, all those people in that school are gonna go to the lower income school. And so that's how they reintroduce segregation, even though we fought for so long to have that done away with.
So you're telling me you can't, if you live in a certain neighborhood, you can't go to another school?
They have vouchers, but it's extremely hard to get into another school. Yeah. for a long time they were busing. Remember they're doing busing where they bus you out of your neighborhood. That's the whole thing.
They don't do that
Regardless, no. Now you go to a school that's like within your neighborhood. But even when they were busing, they were taking the same people and putting them somewhere else, just in a different environment. You still with the same kind of people though.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, in Denver, they have like different programs. Like, if you're an advanced student, they have this program called IB. There's only a couple IB schools. And you have the option, if it's in your city, you have the option of going there even if it's across town.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's cool. Are they like charter schools?
Regular school, but it's a regular high school, but you have classes, all your classes, just you guys in that program.
Yeah.
But you still mingle with the other students, still go to lunch with them, still play the same sports with them.
Yeah,
You just have different classes.
that's cool. What is the equipment like there? Is it like, would you say it was, have you ever been in one?
You know what? When I first went to high school, they put me in these classes. And I was good with the math and science. Wasn't quite ready for the literature classes. So during the summer, between 8th grade and 9th grade, I was supposed to read this book. Yeah, over the summer. It was mighty thick. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we're taping. We're filming right now in the middle of a film session.
But the book was like 2,000 pages. And I was like, man, I ain't reading this. I'll read this at, the beginning of the school year. I'm about to waste my summer doing this. Is how I was thinking at the time.
Uh-huh.
Don't you know, I went to school, and the first day they want to do a pop quiz on the book.
On that book that you're supposed to read?
I was like, yeah, this ain't going to be for me. But the other classes I was actually pretty good at. Because I was really only advanced in math and science. But
That
the
brings up a
program,
pretty good question.
it put me in advanced everything. And I wasn't, at that time, I wasn't ready for that literature class. So I got up out of there.
Okay.
Like,
So you got out the program?
I got out of the
So
program.
then
I
you
couldn't
got
handle
to
the
see the
literature.
equipment? You got to see the inside of the school though? And compare it to a regular school?
No, it's a regular school now.
Oh, it's just a different program.
Yeah, it's a regular school, and they just have one hallway for this program.
Oh.
But it's a regular school, regular kids.
So everything
everything is regular.
That's cool. Well, how would you say you are in reading though? Like, would you say that you said that you weren't advanced, but did you ever struggle with it or?
Younger, I did.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't exciting to me.
Yeah.
Like, math was real exciting, so I was anxious to learn more and go with that. And literature didn't do it for me.
Yeah, a lot of people, I didn't do good with reading either. I still struggle with spelling. I can read real good, but when it comes to spelling, that transition is, probably should have had some foundation laid out a little bit better when I was younger. But no, that's another thing that I'm really interested in, especially within African American males, though, because there are a lot of African American males who feel that they can't read, and that translates into testing, and then they generally score lower on tests, and that kind of sets the stage for their academics, and a lot of times they don't even apply to colleges because they feel like they can't do good on the ACTs and they won't get admitted into colleges and stuff like that. So why would you think that wasn't exciting though? Like,
I don't know why I did.
I do have a theory on this.
I have to be honest with you, I don't know. That's just not what caught my attention. I don't know why. I look at it differently now that I'm an adult, but at that time.
It didn't catch your attention.
And I wish I'd have been, I would have stayed in that program, but I can't go back and change time.
No, you can't. So would you say that if there was something that you could identify with though? I actually think that you know, just now we're having more books that have more cultural experiences in it. When I was growing up, we were reading books and I was seeing faces that didn't look like mine, and they were doing things that I knew I was never going to do, nothing that I was going to ever even. It seemed like it created a barrier. Like I could connect to these books that we were learning to read from, like someone else may have been able to. And I think that that's where I lost my interest in reading, because it seemed so fictitious, it seemed so fake that it was never going to even apply to me. But what do you think could have been done to make you more interested in it, in reading?
Honestly, I have no idea. I believe that was a choice that I made as a child for whatever reason. It stuck with me until I graduated high school. I have no idea why I can't say like you said you remember reading something and it really didn't apply to you. I honestly don't know.
He's older than me, so well, they expect him not to remember so much.
Yeah. All good.
All right. Let me see. So, what do you feel about interracial? How do you feel about interracial dating?
Oh, I don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem with it?
Love who you want to love. Be with who you want to be with. I don't have. Go ahead.
What was I gonna say? So you feel like there's nothing that would Hi, Cousin Tony. Hush.
You're in camera?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit it out though.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna edit out the whole beginning.
So you really feel as though that there is no difference though? No difference? Everything's cool between white, black, everything's equal on the same page?
I'm good.
We're going back to this thing. I told you no. Then I couldn't tell you why. We're going back to this.
Okay, hold on. Check this out. All right, so you say interracial dating, date who you want to date. So if you date someone out of your from a different culture, and you end up having a child, how do you determine what values and what history and what to pass on to your child?
Oh, well, that will never happen to me. Because I love black women. That's what I like. I like black women, so that's not going to happen. And, yeah, I'm just saying we're free to date who we want to date.
We know that. We're free to do it.
No, that's what I'm saying. But as far as raising a child, I what to teach them, I don't know, because my child's going to be, all my children are going to be African American or black, whatever you call it.
Okay. So when it comes to what you already know though about your history, I know I asked you earlier and you said that you were kind of thinking about like tracing your family tree, but what do you think about like the history of your culture though? What do you know about it? Does it interest you?
It does interest me, but to a certain point. Niggas to a certain point they'll start to get pissed off.
Why?
Just because of the way my ancestors were treated.
And so when you say ancestors, and you have already identified yourself as black and not African American, so when you say ancestors, you mean your history that started once your ancestors reached the United States?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I don't know where that was at before United States. Somewhere in Africa, but
You know what was going on. And you don't care to, I mean, not like you don't care to know, but like to you it's non-existent though. Before we reached the United States, whatever happened before that is non-existent.
no, it's not that. It's just I just don't know.
Okay.
I actually, to be honest with you, I actually never took time to research it.
Okay.
Neither.
So, what is it that you said you know a little bit about the history from the United States? Like, what is that to you? What is your history to you?
Just from slavery to where we are now.
Does that cause you to feel any animosity?
You know, slavery does.
How do you feel about that only being what you? How do you feel about that being what you were taught, though? Like the fact that we've stated that you feel like our history starts in the United States when we came to the United States. How do you feel about that being what you were taught?
You know, I should have been taught a lot more. That it kind of bothers me that they teach what other people were before America was America. You get what I mean? And then when it comes to the black people, they only teach us from when we came to America as slaves. So yeah, that kind of bothers me.
Kind of feels like you came from like the lower, I guess. I don't even know what I would call it. Like, it seems as though you started out as a servant, and everything from that point on has been a struggle.
Right.
So when you were going to school, and you learned about Egypt, did you ever make the connection that Egypt is in Africa, and that all the things that they were discussing about Egypt, it's always been like some of the most wonders of the world have occurred there.
Mm-hmm.
So did you ever make that connection that was a part of your history as well?
I did, not going to school though, as an adult.
Oh.
I mean, I knew Egypt was in Africa, but I never really thought like, you know what I mean? I never thought like, my people might be from Egypt. until I became an adult.
Okay. So back to the back to the history in the United States. Like, always were these colors like red, yellow, green, and black? Have they ever been significant to you? And if so, like, what were you taught that they stood for?
I wasn't taught that stood for anything, but I always knew. Well, not that I always knew. I always thought that was pretty much meant Africa. Like, when I was a child, we used to wear the clothes that might have like a picture of Africa on it and be black, red, and green. I have no idea what those colors actually are. What does that mean?
Black stands for black, obviously black people. Red stands for bloodshed, and green stands for like land or earth. When you see yellow, that means the golds or the riches that were in Africa at one point. Marcus Garvey actually gave the African Americans a flag, and it was black, red, and green.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, thanks for.
But I think it's really interesting because when we were growing up, though, that was something like those colors were pretty prominent, or at least when we were younger. Because if you think about the civil rights movement, that's when like Black African American pride, Black pride was there. That was in the 70s. Then I was born in the 80s. You were too. It was still kind of the repercussions of the civil rights movement were still kind of going strong during that time, but nowadays it's kind of like everybody is just doing their own thing, you know. And I don't know, like I think that's There's a problem with that because you just like you said, you can identify that there's differences but don't know why. And I mean, to a certain point, people are okay with it, but I mean, the whole point of my project is to find out like what my generation feels about our future. And when you think about the future, do you just think about your future, or do you think about everyone, like our future, African American future, or Black people?
Well, I am caught up. I mean, it doesn't sound good, but I'm caught up in the era of pretty much look out for yourself and your family. So I do think about some things about our culture, but when it comes to making it or having success, I really pretty much look out for myself and my daughter, my family.
So what do you when you say having success, like what is that to you?
Happiness.
So
I mean, when I say success, I'm not saying I don't mean about just having like money, but just being truly happy in life. I believe if you're truly happy in life, you succeeded, even if you only live paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's success to me.
So success isn't even something that you view as something like to come in the future.
No. Because then when would you ever be successful if you're just looking for something to come in the future? You just be looking for the future your entire life.
Yeah. I mean, oddly enough, though, people still continue to strive for that. It's like trying to reach for something that you're never going to grab. And then at the end of the day, it's over and your life is gone. So that's pretty interesting. So you said that you only you think about your, not like in a selfish way, but because it's pretty common, you think about your personal future and what you can do for your family. How do you feel that would that affects everyone else though? Like, let's see how I can make sure I word it correctly. So when you think about your family though, you know that there's going to be generations after generations after generations. You can only directly affect so many generations within your family.
Right.
So what do you do to secure the generations to come? In your family though, like you can only secure so much.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do is make it to where you can ensure that they have, those that come after you have a better opportunity to secure whatever it is that they secure. So
just pass down the knowledge. Like I said, when I was growing up, I wasn't a reader. I don't remember anybody reading to me. I think that would have played like we didn't have reading time in the house, or nobody would read to me. So, and as an adult, I figured out, how that plays a role. That's very important. So what I'm doing now is every day I'm reading with my daughter. So she grows up knowing this is a part of life, like this is just something just like breathing. Eating is something I need to do. So I feel once I get that in her, and when she gets a little older, I think I'll explain how it is important, and hopefully that she will pass that down to her children and their children. Really put in them that knowledge is power. So that's how I plan to look out for it.
The rest of it.
Right. Well, that's one way.
Do you wish to share another way too?
Go ahead, let's go to another question.
Okay. Another interesting thing or aspect, I guess, about our culture is the fact that a lot of the information that we have comes filtered through another culture. So what history we know has been filtered.
Mm-hmm.
What understanding we have of where we come from has also been filtered to a certain degree. And so how do you feel about like just the trusting knowledge that's given to you? How do you determine whether or not to believe what you see and hear?
I don't know where it came from or where I got this mindset from, but any information I get, for some reason, I automatically second question it. I always question it. Like, is this really the truth? And I do that with everything, like things people say.
I do too. Your grandmother says because we're Generation Y. You know, Generation X came before us. We're Generation Y. She tried to do with the sagging deal, but it's really because we always ask why. We're known for questioning why.
Okay, maybe because I have no idea where it came from. You know, and a lot of people feed you so much BS. Maybe that's that I heard so much BS and then come to find out it wasn't even the truth. I'm like, what? You know,
you just lied to me. Who does that?
Man, my job is like that. They tell you we need to do this because of this, and then come to find out that ain't the reason why we're doing it. We're doing it for other reasons. You know, so.
And so you do that anyways.
Yeah, so I question. I might not say nothing, but in my head, I think to myself, let me investigate this to see what the real deal is.
Yeah. That's
everything.
funny. So regardless, you basically your answer is you don't trust. You hear it, you take it in, and then you look into it on your own.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. What with the information that you find though, and when you find out that it has been filtered, is it something that you even choose to, like, even on your job today? Do you choose to bring it to their attention, like, hey, you lied, or you weren't straightforward with me? Why is that? Or how does that even make you feel as a man though? Like, to be told that you're doing something, you play chess, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be pretty much used as a pawn though, like just doing what somebody else told you to do because you're supposed to.
Yeah. Well, see, in my job, I can't take it. I only can take it so high. You know, I can't get in contact with the big bosses out of Washington. I only can go off on people in Denver. And I think I've done that a little too much. If I want to continue to get a paycheck and have health benefits for my daughter, I've learned that I need to chill.
Really?
Yeah. I voice my opinion at work, and a lot of people don't care for it. Cause sometimes I can come off kind of raw, you know.
Where do you think that came from?
My grandmother. From Miss Alvina Joyce Booker.
So, you're willing to notice? Oh man, I think it's gonna happen. So you're willing to notice that you're being used and continue to be used because you need money?
Okay, when we say I'm being used, there's a job I have to do. I mean, I don't feel like I'm being used. I feel like I'm being lied to about some stuff. Why we're doing it this way, when common sense says do it this way.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Right, so when they give me the answer of why we're doing it, and I don't feel like I'm being used, 'cause I'm not on no front line or anything like that.
Check this out. You remember, well, we were going to school we were going to school around the same time. About the time we started going to kindergarten, there was a space shuttle launch, Sputnik, and we were not. I think it blew up with the teacher on it. Do you remember that?
You said we was about to go to kindergarten? Nah, I don't remember. barely
You
remember
don't
last
remember the
week.
space shuttle that blew up with the teacher on it? Okay, it's cool. Well, anyways, this caused the first President Bush to want the United States to be number one in the space game. So whenever we went into school, they were always pushing science and math, which you were good at. So that was to be the number one priority on the list. That was to be what they stressed, science, math. So everyone that went to school during that time, and that's when they started doing this standardized testing to make sure that everyone knew science and math, because the President of the United States wanted to be number one in space and with science. To me, that says you're programming me to do something because you need me to do it. I mean, like, we're supposed to have a freedom of self-determination. If I want to be an artist, I should be able to have just as much opportunity to do that as I do to be an astronaut. But it's not necessarily the case, because art was not even something that I got introduced to until I was in like high school or middle school, and it's kind of something that I had to learn on my own, right? So when I say being used as a pawn, if you think about it, that's pretty much what it is. It's like a chess game. The United States needs to be number one in science, so we start teaching our kids science and math. And when it comes to whatever else is next, they start teaching the kids that. And unfortunately, being African American or being lower income families, we have no choice but to accept what we're taught. So do you think do you even care? Like, when you learn something like that, do you even care?
Not that I don't care, but, and I'm not saying that not to, because like I said, I'm not to look into that, but I'm not saying that's not the truth, but math and science is pretty much involved. Everything involves math and science. Your artwork involves math and science. Everything involves math and science. So that might be the case, that's why they pushed it. Or maybe it's the fact that everything had something to do with math and science.
You think that's probably something that they would tell you too. Hey, you really need to know math and science. Everything you do in your life is going to be math and science.
Actually, they might have said, I don't know. They might have said, I don't remember nobody saying that. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I just remember that's what I like just naturally. I like numbers.
Yeah.
And later on down the line, I started to like science, but not just because I thought it was cool.
Okay.
We did cool stuff in science class, but numbers is what I really like. That came natural. I don't believe anyone. They might have pushed it on me. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, and I honestly do think math and science is involved in everything. Everything has something to do with math, science.
I mean, I would expect for you to definitely support math and science, because you've been told to support math and science.
I might be brainwashed. Who knows? You might be right.
How do you feel about having been told that you were experiencing the first African American or black president in the United States, living during that time? How'd you feel when you heard that?
When I heard
That
Obama was
the first.
when he won, like when.
Yeah.
How did I feel?
Yeah.
Felt happy for him.
That's it.
That's-
Did you feel like you had new opportunities?
New opportunities.
New.
Man, that dude didn't put. I don't get a bonus because of him. He didn't put
No, you
a
didn't
freeze
know
on
all
my
that
pay.
before. You didn't know all that
Oh.
before.
I'm not getting that. I'm just
You
saying.
did that for me.
Man, you know. No, I was excited. No, I was excited. I felt that was something that my culture, that was a hurdle my culture got over, and I was really excited for my great-grandmother to be able to see that, you know.
Yeah.
She's saying a lot. She's been around for a long time.
So you all of a sudden you felt like that's just one more thing that you could do, or that someone that comes after you could do. Like a door was open.
Right. I did feel that way
And
at that time.
Okay. All right. So check this out. That right there is what I mean by when I said how do you feel about your history and learning about your history. The number one reason that we feel that so many things are hard is because we don't get to see it reflected. I didn't think I was going to be able to be an art teacher because I never ever had an African American teacher. I never ever had an African. Saw.
You never had an
artists.
African American teacher?
No.
Man, you need to get out of Wichita.
And so even when we learned about artists, we were learning about like Picasso. We were learning about all these famous artists, and none of them were black. So I'm like, this has got to be something that's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just because, because it's all I know. But that feeling that you got when you found out that he was the first African American president should not have been there because he wasn't. The first president of the United States, period, was black. His name is John Hanson. That is one of the things, like, that's like another one of the things that you don't get told. Like, you never learn all these things. And had you known, I mean, you probably wouldn't have been the next, I don't know, you might have been like, hey, I can't be a president, you know what I'm saying? That's how history plays a role in your life.
Too many people want to kill you. I ain't trying to die for nobody. That's why I ain't go to the service. Okay? I'm gonna put my life on the line for you, and what you gonna do for me?
Yeah.
But anyway, there was a little excitement there. There was. But, you know, when you said that, I just thought of the day after the election, they had, you know, said he won.
Yeah.
How uninformed or black people are, or some black, not all black people, but some black people are. I was in the gas station, you know, the gas prices had dropped down, which we all knew what was going to happen. It was going to drop down, and then when he took office, it was going to go back up. We all knew this, right?
Yeah.
Paid any attention. We all knew this. So I'm in the gas station, about to fill up my 25-gallon tank, spend all my money, but I'm waiting in line, right? And this kid comes in. He wasn't a kid, he was probably about my age. And he comes in and says, see, America is really about to change. I said, why? He was talking to me. I said, why you say that? He was like, see, we get a black president and gas prices drop down automatically. I said, you know he's not president, right? He was like, oh, see, you ain't been paying attention. Like, he won. He president now. I was like, nah, he doesn't take office for almost 2 more months. He was like, what you talking about? Like, did you not see he won? So, at that point, I just gave up on the conversation. Like, okay. And the guy behind the counter, at the Conoco, the guy behind the counter, he's just looking like and nodding his head, white dude, like. And I thought to myself, like, man, you making us look bad. You making us look bad right now. But after it was all said and done, I got in the truck and I just kind of laughed to myself, like, wow, we're not that it's funny, but because it's not funny, but he was really in there making a scene. And had no idea what he was talking about. Yeah, he was real like, I don't even know if he had a car, to be honest with you. He might have been on the bus, but he was really like, yeah, we'll get a black president. Gas prices drop already.
Do you pay attention to stuff like that? Do you pay attention to, well, in art we call it semetics, but it is the way that media relays messages to us without directly making statements, such as 9/11. So we had 9/11. After that, we kept seeing flashes of it would be flashes of planes hitting the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm. We saw that over and over and over.
Because they want you to get that in your head that That's what, when you think of 9/11, that's what they want you to think of, planes killing Americans.
Yeah, and then when you hear Muslim, you feel not even though Muslim wasn't even the whole thing, because that's not even like a culture though, but somehow we got Muslim, we got this image of terrorists, and now we have a whole new feeling towards a new group of people.
Well, that's how you are. I don't feel that way.
I don't necessarily feel that way either, but I noticed that that's how. And then you work at the spot too, so now this is even more interesting because like.
Oh, we can't be putting on camera while I work. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I didn't say that.
Out.
I didn't say that. I just said the spot.
Right, I work at the spot. Okay. Oh, good.
So how do you feel like that? How do you feel? All right, so what is your feelings about how the media portrayed 9/11 and how they continue to flash these images and got us to feel the way that we feel?
Well, this is, like I said, I really don't trust information I get. So I took the information they gave me, which was they hijacked them with some, what they say? With plastic knives? What was it, plastic knives?
I don't know. Look, I didn't get all that. You probably did.
Plastic knives. It wasn't no bombs or guns, right? This is my thing. If you have a plane full of people, all right, plane full of people, and you hop up with a little plastic knife, you hop up with a machete, you gonna get taken down. You know what I mean? Like, okay, gun, you can shoot people. Bomb, you can blow it up, right? But you hop up with a knife, you're not about to do nothing. Especially with a plane full of people. Because in their head, they're like, oh, we about to die anyway. You know what I mean? We got nothing to lose. Let's attack this fool. So when they said the story, like they got stood up with some plastic knives and
Where did you hear that? On TV?
Took over the plane. I heard that on the TV.
Really?
Yeah.
I must not remember that part.
They took over the plane. That was one of the planes. The other one, they said they were flying the plane. They took over the plane, then flew it. Yeah, that's what it was. That didn't even sound right to me. Like what?
That doesn't even sound right.
Like, even if it was one person, it would have been like me. Like, we on the plane, you stand up with a knife. If it's just me, I'm gonna go ahead and
You trying to do something?
I'm gonna try to serve you up. And if somebody else sees me, somebody else is gonna jump in. Even if that wasn't their original thought, they gonna jump in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You said that didn't even sound
That didn't even sound right at all to me. Like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Then I did further investigation on my own, and they got video. You can look on the internet. They got video slowed down how the plane actually starts to explode before it actually hits the tower. You know what I mean? So I honestly don't. I have my own theories, which we don't want to get into, but I honestly don't believe what there's more to it, which I don't know. I have my own theories. It's just my opinion, but
You don't want to share your opinion?
I'd rather not share my opinion
Okay.
about
Why
that
not,
right
though?
now.
Why not? I just wonder, because we were talking about knowledge.
Because I like to give out facts. See, I don't have
Okay.
facts. That's just my
Okay.
opinion.
Makes sense. All right. So, how does that affect you though? Now, like on a regular basis. So now that you took the experience and thought but that was when we were in high school though.
Yeah.
So in high school, you're like, that don't even sound right.
Yeah. Ain't nobody about to take control of hundreds of people with a little knife. Don't make no sense.
I always thought I thought they had made bombs.
Yeah,
That's
bombs.
you know we can't have aerosol cans anymore. Well, how did all of that happen? How did all of that transpire?
Because we can't have aerosol cans because now they're looking, or they say they want to take all dangerous items, but in actuality, that's gonna be changing here pretty soon. Pretty soon, they got a new head dude, and I don't know, man. Really don't know how I feel about that. Like, you gonna let some people take something and.
Oh, really? So it's like that? Some people can take something?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know the facts of it,
Yeah,
so.
it's okay.
But, yeah, some people will be able to take some things. Some people can just walk through. Just walk through. Background done, walk through. But that's stupid. Like, you take Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City. He was in the military. You know what I mean? Like, if you took his background, he would have been able to pass everything. You know what I mean? And he was a white boy. You know what I mean? He wasn't Muslim or anything like that, but he went off and did what he did in Oklahoma. So, and that's my thing. Like, well, why would you? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, oh, let's check his background. His background is cool.
So if the background isn't cool, like if you got some blemishes, then you gotta go through.
Gotta
You gotta worry about that. Okay.
Right, and then you might not be able to take your water bottle, but John Simmons over here could take his. You know
So
what I
if
mean?
they use plastic knives and stuff, like you shouldn't even be able to take those glasses. If you do the plastic knife.
See, America's real touchy about stuff. Like, America's real touchy about stuff. So sometimes I feel that they're more concerned with customer service than security. Did you go over in these other countries when you get on a plane? And they real quick to strip you down, cavity search. And you know, actually in America, like, they joke about it on TV.
Yeah.
But there is no real cavity search. Like, there's no going into no back room and dropping your drawers, and we're gonna see what you got. You know what I'm saying? There, actuality is not even like that. You know. But yeah, we're gonna see where that ends up going, where that goes, cause yeah, they trying something new.
All right. So that for after you did all your research and everything, like you approached the situation from a different point of view than everyone else, and then what was your reaction to the fact that we had to go to war? Were you just like?
I didn't know why. Cause like I was in high school, I was a singer. I didn't know why, but cause I honestly felt like, okay, this is some BS. And now we're gonna go to war over it. So I really didn't know what the real reason behind going to war was. I knew what they were saying.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I knew what they were saying, but I really didn't know the real reason.
How do you feel about it now?
About the war?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a war type person, but
I mean, how do you feel about, what do you feel the reason was? Do you feel that they were straightforward about it? Because we did, after we witnessed, the average person witnessed the planes hitting, and pretty much getting flooded with that image. Then right after that, immediately after that, we had the whole patriotism movement. We had all of a sudden flags, United States flags going up, and everybody felt like they needed to protect the United States. Then we had I don't know, it wasn't a mandatory draft, but then we had
it was getting close to that. Like, I was a little scared. Like, hold up, wait a minute.
I don't even believe in this. I don't even want to fight for this country.
Yeah, I really don't want to go to no war over something that I don't believe. You know what I mean? Ooh, that would have been terrible. That would have been a tough situation. They would have had to catch me. I would have been over there. But I believe it was all done for a reason, whether it's money, oil turns into money. So whether it's money or whatever it might be, it was all done for a reason that it shouldn't have been. You know.
Immediately after that, though, we went into this mission that's over in Africa. It's called AFRICOM, and now the United